A vehicle that feels like it was designed by people who actually live in the real world. People who care about adventure, but also care about parking garages, charging costs, families, pets, weekend trips, and weekday commutes. That's the feeling the Rivian R2 gives off the moment you start imagining it. This is not a car trying to shout louder than everyone else. It's not trying to overwhelm you with gimmicks. Instead, it feels calm, confident, and very intentional, like it knows exactly who it's for. The Rivian R2 steps into a space that has been begging for attention. An electric SUV that balances capability, design, and affordability without losing its soul. Where larger electric trucks and SUVs can feel oversized or impractical for daily life, the R2 feels right-sized. It's compact enough to be city-friendly, but still rugged enough to make you believe it belongs on a dirt road with mud on the tires and camping gear in the back. From the outside, the design language is unmistakably Rivian, but more approachable. The signature lighting gives it a friendly, almost expressive face, and the proportions feel balanced rather than aggressive. It doesn't try to look like a tank or a spaceship. It looks like a modern adventure vehicle, something you could park outside a coffee shop or take deep into the mountains without feeling out of place in either scenario. There's a quiet confidence in the design, as if it doesn't need to prove anything. Step inside, and the R2 really starts to show what it's about. The interior feels open and thoughtfully laid out, with an emphasis on comfort and usability rather than excess. Materials feel durable but refined, the kind of surfaces you wouldn't panic about getting a little dirty after a long hike or a day at the beach. Everything seems positioned with purpose, from the screens to the storage areas, making the cabin feel less like a tech demo and more like a living space on wheels. One of the most impressive things about the R2 is how it promises to blend technology into the background instead of putting it front and center. Yes, it's loaded with modern software, connectivity, and driver assistance features, but the focus isn't on flashing menus or complicated interfaces. The idea seems to be that the technology should help you enjoy the drive, not distract you from it. It's there when you need it and invisible when you don't. Performance-wise, the R2 doesn't aim to be outrageous, and that's a good thing. Instead of chasing insane horsepower numbers, it focuses on delivering smooth, confident acceleration and stable handling in a variety of conditions. Electric torque gives it that instant response off the line, making city driving effortless and highway merging stress-free. At the same time, its suspension and all-wheel drive capabilities suggest it won't hesitate when the pavement ends. Range anxiety, one of the biggest concerns for anyone considering an electric vehicle, feels thoughtfully addressed here. The R2 is designed with realistic driving habits in mind. It's built to handle daily commutes, weekend getaways, and longer road trips without forcing you to constantly worry about the next charging stop. This isn't about chasing record-breaking range numbers. It's about making electric driving feel normal, dependable, and easy. What really sets the Rivian R2 apart is its philosophy. This vehicle doesn't feel like it's trying to replace gas-powered SUVs through shock or novelty. Instead, it feels like a natural evolution. It acknowledges that people want electric vehicles that fit seamlessly into their lives, not ones that require major lifestyle changes. You don't need to be an early adopter or a tech enthusiast to appreciate what the R2 offers. It's built for people who just want a good vehicle that happens to be electric. The pricing strategy is another reason the R2 is generating so much excitement. By aiming for a more accessible price point, Rivian is clearly signaling that this vehicle is meant for a wider audience. This isn't an exclusive luxury item. It's a practical, well-designed SUV that more people can realistically consider. That move alone could make the R2 one of the most important electric vehicles of its generation. For families, the R2 promises flexibility. There's space for passengers, space for cargo, and clever storage solutions that make everyday life easier. For outdoor enthusiasts, it offers the durability and capability needed for adventure without the bulk of a full-size truck. For city drivers, it brings manageable size, smooth performance, and a refined driving experience that doesn't feel overwhelming in traffic or tight parking spaces. There's also an emotional side to the R2 that's hard to ignore. It feels optimistic. In a world where car design often leans toward extremes, either ultra-luxury or ultra-aggressive, the R2 feels refreshingly balanced. It suggests a future where electric vehicles are not just better for the environment, but genuinely better to live with. The Rivian R2 isn't about making headlines with wild claims. It's about quietly redefining what an electric SUV can be. It's approachable without being boring, capable without being excessive, and modern without being cold. If Rivian delivers on the promise of this vehicle, the R2 could become the kind of car people recommend to friends and family. Not because it's flashy, but because it just makes sense that in the end, the Rivian R2 feels like a statement of maturity, not just for the brand, but for the electric vehicle market as a whole. It represents a shift from proving that electric vehicles can exist to proving that they can be truly excellent everyday companions. And if that's the future we're driving toward, it's a future that looks very exciting indeed.